do it. But before that, I have two highly regarded and talented guests who just happen to be dedicated Republicans who love New Jersey politics. Hmm. I wonder about that. I, I asked my guest, are you a little masochistic and out there? Well, let's find out together. Let's meet them. Alex Zdan is an accomplished writer, award-winning investigative journalist, and TV commentator. His insightful angles can be found on his Alpha Substack. He regularly appears on TV, such as News Nation, Sky News, NDTV, and Fox News. He is pursuing becoming the next senator of New Jersey as a Republican, saying New Jersey doesn't need another insider or professional politician. In his words, Jersey families desire results and the truth. No more Cory Booker, he says. There's the door. See you, Mr. Booker. Also, my other guest is Jacqueline Tobacco. Jackie is an executive producer with a demonstrated success in the broadcast media industry and talent development. Also, just a coincidence, the campaign manager for Mr. Alex. This week, Jackie came back from an influential speaking engagement from Washington, D.C., our national capital, on Maha. Guys, thanks for joining me on this Saturday morning so early. Thanks for getting up.
Barry, happy to be here.
Thank you, Alex. Do we have Jackie?
I'm here. Good morning, everybody.
There you go. Listen, why don't I lead out with you, Alex? I guess my first question really has to be a bizarre world of politics. Why do you want to be a senator of New Jersey?
Listen, I want to be in the United States Senate to help our country face the challenges that are going to be coming up in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 years. President Trump has made so much progress in rolling back the decline of American greatness, but we know that there is much more work to do. The president needs allies in the U.S. Senate. The president and our movement need people who are going to carry America First values forward into the next decade. That's why I want to be in the United States Senate. And it's far more important to get Cory Booker out of office. Cory Booker has been in the U.S. Senate for 13 years. What has he accomplished? Nothing. New Jersey has 2 ineffective senators. In November, we can remove one of them and replace him with an America First warrior.
There you go. Jackie, let me ask you a question. As a campaign manager, I did a little homework, and from 2002 to 2026, which is the present, other than if you may want to call him a rhino, I guess some people may say that about Chris Christie, there have been 5 Democratic senators in this role. What are your thoughts on breaking and getting a Republican into that office and that seat?
I mean, listen, I hear it all the time. It's a really uphill battle. But if anybody can do it, I think Alex is the person to try to break through that lock that they've had on us. I think people in New Jersey are seeing the buyer's remorse on electing Mikey Sherrill already. We are seeing socialism, get a hold in New Jersey, and I think it's time to push back. So while it's not easy, I think Alex is more than prepared to take that challenge on, and we're hoping that we can, really appeal not only to the Republican base, but to get the independents back and voting with us.
Yeah, I agree with you. Listen, Alex, it's a big job to really get prepared to be senator, governor as well, but senator of a state. What are you doing to prepare in knowing the state of New Jersey inside and out?
Well, I've been fortunate that because of my background, I spent almost 20 years as a journalist in New Jersey going up and down the state. So I know the people. I know the state. I'm not some transplant like Mikey Sherrill from Virginia or Phil Murphy from Massachusetts. I grew up in New Jersey, born and raised, and I've had a large part of my reporting career was in New Jersey. I spent 6 years covering the State House. I know what a mess it is down there. I know the issues. And I'm making sure that I'm read up on absolutely everything. But you're right. It's a big job. It's a big responsibility. And already I'm gathering individuals who are going to be part of advisory boards who are going to help me, national security, health and healthcare policy. It is a big job, but if you get the right team together, you can do it and you can really make an impact. And this is something that other campaigns in our state have not put together before. I want to rely on the best and brightest folks that we can bring together from across our state to help advise me on what to do.
Jackie, as a campaign, that's a good job, Alex, by the way. And I appreciate that. Jackie, as a campaign manager, if we look back at this last election for the governor's seat, we saw some failings, and we don't have to get ourselves in the weeds with that. But if you're campaigning, how would you campaign differently with Alex than was done with, say, Chitterelli?
I think, listen, I was a big fan of Jack's. Alex and I both worked on the campaign as much as we could to help from our individual, places where we were. And I think that Jack did an amazing job of getting out the entire Republican vote. He got the most votes ever out of Republicans in the state. Mm-hmm. But I think Alex is going to spend some time in other rooms, not just the Republican institutions that are out there. I think he's going to spend some more time. He's been spending for the past 2 years. He's been spending time in Newark. He does a lot of work with the Newark Freedom Caucus in Newark. A lot of, feeding the homeless, doing things that are not done except when people are campaigning. And Alex has a real authentic base there of people that he's helped on his own. And I think being in those rooms, doing different things. Alex has been a huge proponent of parental rights from the get-go. When we went through the COVID, the lockdowns and the mandates and everything. And I think that those are the people that we can really activate in this race, as well as, Alex is young. He's only 40. And getting the younger generation back involved and back energized and excited. I mean, the older generation, and I know, my group of friends and people that have been in politics for a long time, everyone's feeling a little dejected after the big loss we had. Yeah. And it's understandable, but we need to rally back up. And I think Alex can really, get that base excited too, bring some new energy into it.
Jackie, off the air, you mentioned TikTok to me. You mentioned your son said something to you. Why don't you tell our audience what your thoughts are on that?
I think there's a lot of new media that maybe we need to take advantage of. I know that during the Chitterelli campaign, there was a day when, I'll tell the story, there was a day when my sons came to me and they were like, Ma, how can you be supporting Jack? Look at all these bad things that he's standing for. He's going to raise our taxes. He's not going to let us ever buy houses. And I was like, what are you talking about? That's not Jack. And they showed me this TikTok marketing that Mikey's team was doing. That's the kind of stuff that, we might not be using it, but there's a big base of people that are using it. I think the traditional, connected TV is not necessarily always the best way to go. Social media marketing is huge. Direct-to-consumer streaming TV ads are huge. And getting people who can evangelize your message out there, getting real ambassadors who are part of grassroots groups to evangelize your message, I think will help Alex a lot.
Yeah, I think so as well. Alex, I want to regress to something. Many times I've spoken to people in New Jersey, and maybe it happens in Pennsylvania as well, but in other states around the country, that we are not unified in the state of New Jersey as Republicans. Why is that? And how can we do better to make sure we're on the same page? And as an example, I hate to bring him up, Bill Spadea, he did not endorse Jack Chitterelli once he lost. So to me, these are harmful things. How do we get around that, and how do we get our people on the same page?
It's been a question that's been present for a very long time. For some reason, this New Jersey Republican Party is not as united as it is. They talk all the time. There's a saying, that Democrats join together and join hands after the primary election, and Republicans eat their own. So that's been said before. I find that Republicans are way better governing, but Democrats are sometimes better campaigning.
Why is this?
Especially in this state.
Yep, I agree. Jackie, why is that? I agree. It sounds like, to me, that the Democrats, we always say it here, are the evil party, and the Republicans just can't get the gun out of the holster. Why do Republicans seem to not be on the ball in making representations as well as the Democrats?
I mean, you want my real answer? I think there's a lot of problems that are happening in the party that need to be fixed. And I think part of it, like I'll give you a two-part answer. Part of it, I think, is a national issue. I don't think we're as good as in messaging in the GOP as we are, as the Dems are. I mean, they deliver a message, and you see the same exact message on everyone's X account at the same time, from top to bottom, local to national. They all repeat the same message. They stand behind each other. It doesn't matter what they actually believe or don't believe. They are uniform in their messaging. So I think that's one of the issues, that we might not be as good at messaging. I mean, even Trump does amazing things, and they don't necessarily get the message out as quickly as the Dems turn that narrative around and get that messaging out.
That's smart, Jackie. I agree.
And then
go ahead.
No, I was gonna, and then locally, I mean, I'll say, the breaking of the line. We don't have a line anymore. So there's opportunity there, right, where people can feel like anybody can just jump into a race. However, I am going to comment that this primary that Alex finds himself in is really, it's really indicative of the lack of unity in this party, because there's a clear front runner here, and Alex is the clear front runner, and yet we have three people who are still competing, and we have chairs that are not unified behind the Republican front runner, and it's a problem. And instead of fighting Cory Booker and unifying and getting together to figure out messaging and fundraising and attack, we are instead in a race to attack other Republicans. And so this is where we're at, and we're just going to keep fighting.
Yeah, it's not healthy. That's the problem. Why don't you
Barry,
weigh
if you look at the numbers in the state, people have said before. Barry, if you look at the numbers in the state, people have said before that in order to win a statewide race, you need 80% of the Republicans, 65% of the independents, and maybe as high as 15% of the Democrats to vote your way. We're outnumbered. We're outnumbered by almost 1 million votes. If you go into a general election with 25%, 30%.
Doesn't seem right, and it sounds a little fishy to me. Jackie, your thoughts on that?
I mean, I've had this discussion before. I don't know that I'm not going to call it fraud. I don't think it's fraud, but I do think it's a matter of, we need that SAVE Act passed, first of all, and we need the laws to change in New Jersey. When you show up
when the people who are going to support the president's agenda in Congress are on the ballot, people stay home. And this is something that our Republican Party has struggled with across the country. No one seems to have an answer to that. If you out there have an answer to that, call up. Call up and say, how do we get Republicans out with Trump not on the ballot? And Barry, of course, will split the proceeds of the finder's fee for that solution with you.
855-839-1210. Uncle Barry sitting in for Tom Hazelby, talking to Alex Zdan and Jackie Tobacco. We will see you on the other side of the break.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Penalties and interest are piling up every single day. Wage garnishments and bank levies could hit any moment. If you've been avoiding it out of fear, you're not alone. But waiting only shrinks your options and ramps up the stress. The truth is, the IRS settles with taxpayers every day through legitimate programs, and many qualify to reduce what they owe, in some cases by up to 99%. That's why thousands turn to helpwithirsdebt.com. They've guided over 120,000 Americans, resolved more than $2.3 billion in tax debt, and back every case with their ironclad resolution guarantee. If there's no real path forward, you get a full refund, no fine print. They even randomly select one qualifying client each year and pay off their entire IRS balance. Terms apply. Don't let another day pass. Go to helpwithirsdebt.com right now. It's fast, easy, and confidential. Find out what's possible today. Helpwithirsdebt.com. Once again, that's helpwithirsdebt.com.
Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Find your dream ride with an auto loan from American Heritage Credit Union. We're proud to offer loans on both new and used vehicles with low monthly payments and flexible terms up to 84 months, as well as auto lease buyouts. Drive with confidence and enjoy discounts on auto insurance and added value services like mechanical breakdown protection. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/auto to get started. Insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender. Not a member? Join today.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Free speech lives here. With Dom Giordano, weekdays noon till 3 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
Yes, indeedy, I am back. Barry Sable sitting in for Tom Hazelby, who is on a very short vacation. He will see you next weekend. Talking to Alex Zdan, who is running for Senator of New Jersey, and his campaign manager, who has a diverse career, Jacqueline Tobacco. Jackie, why don't I lead out with you? And before we get to Wise Guys on Saturday night on Newsmax, why don't you tell us what happened this week in this Maha meeting or speech that you gave this past week?
Yeah, it was a great opportunity. I was so happy and humbled to be asked. I was asked to speak at an RNC event at Capitol Hill Club. Yeah, at Capitol Hill Club to, I think it was 85 women. They're major donors to the RNC and state chairs from all over the country, as far away as Hawaii. So it was a great opportunity, and we had a Maha Coalition panel, and my particular part of the panel was about Maha, moms, and midterm messaging, and how we can really use the Maha brand. I mean, people, I think it gets discounted a little bit, but when Trump brought in Kennedy, and Kennedy endorsed Trump, the entire game changed for our elections. And we really, I've been a medical freedom fighter for years before Maha was branded as such. And that was a huge moment when we kind of saw a groundswell, and we had people who might have never been politically engaged, and people coming over to the GOP who had never been in the GOP.
Yeah.
And so I think this opportunity has not been fully exploited, for lack of a better word. But we have a chance again. I mean, Kennedy. It's only been a year and a few months, and there has been so much advancement of that healthy Maha agenda.
Yeah, I want to come back to Maha, but we have a call from Lisa. Let's get her in and out. Lisa, good morning. You're talking to Uncle Barry, sitting in for Tom Hazelby. How are you?
Hi. So you're making the point exactly like you're saying that when Trump is on the agenda, people come out, right? When Trump is on the ballot, people come out. Why don't you make that the agenda on every election? That Trump's agenda is on the ballot. Does that make sense?
Go ahead, Jackie. Why don't I let you answer, Lisa? Of course it makes sense. I agree with you in some way. Go ahead, Jackie. Okay, lost her. Alex. Okay.
We said
lost
that
Jackie.
before.
Alex,
so,
do you want to comment to that?
So I'll answer your question in two ways, Lisa. First and foremost, I'll look at it nationally. Nationally, other parties in other states have tried to do that, have tried to say President Trump's agenda is on the ballot, President Trump is on the ballot, and that has rarely worked. Why? Because President Trump, through his message, through his fighting of the establishment, through his personality, activates a key demographic of normally unengaged, low-propensity voters to come out and vote for him. So that's part one. Part two of this is, I take your point, and I think that the New Jersey GOP, people have been reticent to embrace the president and embrace his message. They've run away from it. I'm not going to run away from it. He's the president of the United States. Do I agree with him on absolutely everything 100% of the time? No, I don't agree with myself 100% of the time. But we're going to make sure that the president's agenda and protecting him from impeachment, which is coming if the Democrats take back the House, is part of this agenda. I'm actively seeking President Trump's endorsement, and I will campaign with him if he so chooses.
There you go. Lisa, before I let you go, any other last thoughts?
No, I just wish you a lot of luck. I mean, It's ridiculous that people can't get up off their ass and get out to vote. Come on, people.
Lisa, thank you so much for the call.
There you go.
Jackie, are you back?
I'm back, I think.
There you go. Listen, Jackie, why don't you tell us what Maha is? There are a lot of people that are not familiar with that saying. So why don't you tell us exactly what Maha is, as I asked?
Yeah, sure. So it basically was, it was Robert Kennedy's campaign that became branded as Make America Healthy Again. And that was his main mission. And so it encompasses everything from removing food dyes. I think you guys have seen that there's been some movement already nationally with brands taking out the artificial food dyes that are making kids sick. He's trying to address the rates of chronic illness. For me, he's trying to address autism, which as an autism mom is one of the most crucial things that any politician or human being could promise me, that they're going to address a root cause of that. And he's basically trying to, exploit and make people have transparency on these corporations and the greed and what's been leading to the chronic illness problems in America. Yep. We are the sickest nation in the world. Every child, these days, and I'm on the school board as well. That I see all the rates on my own town of Middletown of IEPs, 504 plans, kids that have asthma, allergies, ADHD, autism. We're the highest in the world. And so for someone to sit here and come in and say, I'm going to expose the fraud, expose the Medicare fraud that is going on under the guise of helping children with autism, and that money was going to Somali fake daycares. I mean, it's crazy, the stuff that goes on. And he's been trying to expose it for years. That's been his life's mission. And it's something that I think is a bipartisan issue. I think these are issues that affect every person, every family. And I think that's where the unity can be found when we are so polarized between left and right, wanting to have a healthy environment for us to live in, wanting us not to have our taxpayer money going to fund ridiculous things that make our own children sick. And it's a really nice place to be in that Maha world with the Maha people, where it doesn't really matter if you came from being a Democrat or an independent. We're now trying to embrace that and have all of these people come over and be part of the Republican Big Tent party.
Yeah, especially for our kids, my God. Hey, Alex, do you find in your travels that with Maha there is pushback from the left side, or is there something, and I don't know what else, but something that we could agree on, at least for the benefit of American citizens, especially kids?
Well, the left side is the left side is gone, and we know it, and it's sad, but it's a reality of life in America today. If you're a committed socialist, if you're part of the woke mob, you're never coming back. However, there are people who are reasonable, middle-of-the-road people, whether they're, I call them Bill Maher Democrats who have called out the excesses of the woke left, or genuine independents who absolutely love the Maha message. I mean, we have polling that shows that certain aspects of the Maha message, like the food dyes, like healthier school lunches, like healthier meals for our military, they poll at 80 or 90%. Ice cream doesn't poll at 80, 90% in today's world. This is a fantastic way for us to get behind policies that are going to have broad-based support. And additionally, instead of eating the whole elephant, which D.C. always wants to do, D.C. always wants to pass a massive overhaul, a massive package that gets loaded up with pork and ends up getting watered down to do nothing, doing things that are piecemeal, one issue by one issue. That's the way forward, and that's what part of the Maha agenda is, attacking these issues one at a time and making true progress.
Yeah, listen, Jackie, I want to ask you a question. We talked about this off the air, and my feeling is the Republican Party, not just in New Jersey, but anywhere in the country, needs a hook. So my question is in the governor's race, there was a hook, affordability. Okay, in New York, giving things away free. As I mentioned to you, I think that the Republicans across the board have to develop a hook. Donald Trump, to me, is doing such amazing things, not just in this country, but outside of this country, with not the right recognition, only because when I say we, the Republicans do not have a voice in much media, other than Fox News and Newsmax and a few other places. the message doesn't get across. So what are your feelings on the development of some kind of hook? Because generic thoughts and processes and policies just doesn't seem to cut it in blue states.
Yeah, I agree. I think this brings me back right back to Maha, and we are. You're 100% correct. I mean, the messaging's not out there. We are defeated by the liberal mainstream media constantly in messaging, but we have a problem. And when I think we have to also get down to the local granular level. When we have women who are ignoring deaths of Lake and Riley and other innocent American women, and they are out there fighting ICE agents and trying to protect what they call our neighbors who are actually criminals, we have a big problem. And I think my mission and my part of this, what we were in DC for, is to really activate those women again. Get the females out there. Women are the ones who are going to be always looking for peace, not war. And we're going to be the ones who are looking for healthier solutions and get that hook on what kind of world we want our kids to grow up in.
Yeah.
And so it's affordability is a great catchphrase. I get it. That's all I hear about, affordability. But the truth is, and I think this is, a good segue for Alex too, to talk about what his plan is. When you say healthcare to me, I glaze over. When you say healthy families, I'm paying attention. When you say, when you get down to that granular level, it makes a difference in my life. When you just say the word affordability and the word healthcare, it doesn't have a definition. And I think that we are missing a mark on messaging there. Yep. I think we need solid plans. And I think that this is part of where we can get over on the Democrats I'm losing my words right now, is on, defining what healthcare and health plans are.
I want to get into that after the break, guys. We're up to 10:30. I guess we're on break, Kirk. You are listening to the Tom Hazelby Show. Barry Sable sitting in with my friends for Tom Hazelby, Alex Zdan, and Jackie Tobacco. We'll see you on the other side of the break. 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
It's tax refund season, and Bob's is bringing the wow back. Get wow-worthy prices on best-selling pieces like my Playday sectional with pop-up sleeper for just $7.99. Wow. I've even got flexible financing options on feature-packed bedrooms and Consumer Reports recommended mattresses. Whoa. And with tons of styles ready to ship and old furniture removal, you can get your new furniture fast and easy.
Wow.
So don't forget, your tax refund goes further at Bob's Discount Furniture.
Oh, my Bob.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Penalties and interest are piling up every single day. Wage garnishments and bank levies could hit any moment. If you've been avoiding it out of fear, you're not alone. But waiting only shrinks your options and ramps up the stress. The truth is, the IRS settles with taxpayers every day through legitimate programs, and many qualify to reduce what they owe, in some cases by up to 99%. That's why thousands turn to helpwithirsdebt.com. They've guided over 120,000 Americans, resolved more than $2.3 billion in tax debt, and back every case with their ironclad resolution guarantee. If there's no real path forward, you get a full refund, no fine print. They even randomly select one qualifying client each year and pay off their entire IRS balance. Terms apply. Don't let another day pass. Go to helpwithirsdebt.com right now. It's fast, easy, and confidential. Find out what's possible today. Helpwithirsdebt.com. Once again, that's helpwithirsdebt.com.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Yes, indeed, I am back. Barry Sable sitting in for Tom Aisleby. Talking this morning with Senator would-be, love to sit in that seat, Alex Zdan, wise guys, and we'll talk about that in a second. Jackie Tobacco on Newsweek at Saturday at 9 o'clock. You must watch. Quite a show. Alex, I want to touch base with some thoughts that your adversary talked about this week or so. Regional infrastructure projects, public health initiatives, economic development programs that align both locally and nationally, funding allocations involving community perspectives into decision-making. Threw out 5 things. Comment as you like.
It's fascinating to see. I'm a baseball fan. I remember Robinson Cano would sometimes not be as aggressive a player as possible, except when he was in his contract year.
Yep.
Then you would see the guy fly. Cory Booker's in his contract year. He's got to get his contract renewed by the voters, and the only way he can run for president in 2028 is if he wins this election in 2026. So you're going to see some activity from Senator Booker. I don't believe any of it. He's been in the Senate for 13 years and accomplished nothing. He spent the last 2 weeks touring the country on a national book tour to get himself clicks, adulation, and fundraising dollars. I don't take those proposals seriously. What I can tell you, you should all take very seriously, is the new health care plan, the principles of the health care plan, which I will be unveiling by the end of this month as the first U.S. Senate candidate in the country to be asked to take on this mantle of helping shape the president's health care plan, healthier savings accounts to allow you to put your pre-tax money into both care and preventative care, expanding those accounts to cover people who are in unions, allow them to get it. They're banned from it now. To allow veterans to get them, they're banned from it now if they're in TRICARE. And greater transparency, including plain English in the drug prices. So I'm working. Cory Booker is talking.
There you go. Jackie, I'd be remiss, and I know I'll screw up if I don't ask now. Tell us a little bit about Wise Guys on Saturday Night Newsmax. How did you land that job, and how's that going for you?
It's amazing. I'm so grateful for it. I often talk about what we went through under COVID when we were in lockdowns and being censored. And I was looking for an outlet. I was constantly posting on Facebook and my opinions, and we were just blocked. I mean, I was censored over and over again. So to have this opportunity where every Saturday I'm on a national platform, Wise Guys is the #1 show on Newsmax on the weekends.
Wow.
I am able to say anything I basically want to say. All of the, we are able to discuss things that were never able to be discussed before, and to reach an audience and to influence people on common sense values. So I'm really lucky. I mean, I was on the show once during when I was fighting for the transgender policy. I was on as a guest, and it just kind of took off from there. And now I'm, on every week. So very grateful to John Tobacco for the opportunity and happy to be part of it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable for anybody that's of the youthful ages that say, can it be done? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? All you have to do is ask Jackie Tobacco. She's on the air. Am I right, Jackie? It can be done. Don't tell me it can't be done.
Yeah, it can be done. But again, this goes back to why it's so important to get out the vote. We cannot forget 2020. We cannot forget what was done to us. And if we lose the House or the Senate, if President Trump gets impeached, they will take us so far back, it will make COVID look like, a dream instead of the nightmare that it was. And we cannot sit back and just say, oh, it's midterms, we don't care. We just can't do it this year. We have to get out there and protect Trump.
Oh, I agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah.
Before we get to international affairs, I do want to ask about the SAVE Act, and I'll get that in a minute, and possibly the war. Here's what I do want to ask you, Alex, is how are we going to improve the state of New Jersey? Atlantic City, to me, is a mess. That's a focal point that I think could be used, not just revenue, but so much better than it is, number one. We all know high real estate taxes. Car insurance is through the roof in New Jersey. Is there ever going to come a time anybody is going to address this so the state of New Jersey is more affordable to live?
Of course, we have to address these affordability issues in New Jersey. And unfortunately, with the governor that we have, who's interested in padding her resume and running around cutting ribbons, we need people at the local level to step up and work hard to try and make New Jersey affordable at the local level. Trenton's not going to do it for us.
Nope.
So your hometown can take steps to make New Jersey more affordable, but they should have some help from a senator in Washington who understands these issues, who cares about these issues, and is willing to do whatever it takes to get that done. I'm very pessimistic about Governor Sherrill's so-called leadership. We have a vastly diminished Republican representation in the legislature, but however, we have some folks who are really outstanding, who are stepping up to the plate. Assemblywoman Dawn Fantasia is one of them. I was at her event last night up in Sussex County. She is an incredibly tough fighter. She is bringing up all of these issues and bringing exposure to the fact that this state government, the Sherrill administration, doesn't care about the average taxpayer. And that's something that the public can glom onto. Don't forget, 2027, next year, Mikey's first midterms. The entire state Senate, the entire state assembly is going to be up. 2026 is the foundation that we can build, that we can stop the bleeding and then have a strong and successful 2027. We're laying the groundwork right now to take back our state.
Yep, from your mouth to God's ears. Jackie, tell us about illegal migration in the state of New Jersey and how Jersey, not just Jersey, but obviously you see it in Pennsylvania, you see it throughout the country, you see so much fraud. How is that affecting what's going on in New Jersey?
I mean, to me, as a mom, it's all about law and order and safety. And I think that's one thing that we have to be concerned about. I know that there's just been one example after another, from hit and runs to murders that are happening. And I'm not sure why, especially we have a problem with suburban women. Why are suburban women accepting of this reality?
I asked you that question. There's the question. Give me the answer. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I really think it goes back to the Democrats owning messaging. And, again, started during COVID with the virtue signaling, right? Women were the leading force out there on the mandate. They wanted everyone masked. They wanted everyone vaxxed, boosted up the wazoo. They wanted you to be standing 6 feet apart. And if you weren't standing 6 feet apart, they wanted you arrested.
Yep.
I mean, they took the innate empathy that women have and they perverted it. And they turned it into something that is completely out of line with common sense and reason. And these women are literally demonstrating suicidal empathy. When you don't care about the American girls that are being killed on college campuses, out for a run, on a train, when you don't care about those girls being killed, but you are out there throwing yourselves in front of ICE agents and running your car into ICE agents, and you have women running to rallies to be anti-law enforcement, we have a problem with suburban women, and it has to be addressed.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to me. Nobody, as you know, loves women more than me, but I crush on women.
I do know that.
When it comes, Kurt's laughing on the other side of the glass, but it's true. But I crush on women, and I'm disappointed in many women, especially liberal women. That lady in Minnesota that was in front of the car and obviously ended up getting shot and getting killed, She is a mother, and it's more important for her to be an advocate for illegal migration and immigration into this country than our own daughters and sons. It's unbelievable to me, and I just don't understand the mentality of how women do not push back, especially boys and girls bathrooms, boys and girls sports, education, transgender. It just doesn't make sense to me. We are so far off track, Alex. I just don't seem to get it. Help me.
Barry,
go ahead.
Women crave strong male leadership with clarity, vision, and security. That's what I'm offering in this campaign. A strong sense of who I am, a strong sense of the vision of what we want to achieve. But I listen to people. I hear what they have to say, men and women alike, children. I hear and I'm approachable, and people can talk to me about what they see as the needs for our state. That's what we need. That's the kind of leadership I am going to exemplify, like they say in Transformers, strong enough to be gentle.
I love it. Jackie, how does people get in touch with your campaign if they want to message you guys?
Yeah, so we're on all social media platforms, Alex Zdan for Senate on Instagram and Facebook and X. The website is alexbeatsbooker.com. You can go there and you can message us, or you can send an email right to media@alexbeatsbooker.com.
There you go. Listen, this hour is flying by. We're up against the break. You are listening to the Tom Hazelby Show. Barry Sable sitting in this morning for him and talking to Alex Zdan and Jackie Tobacco. See you on the other side of the break. We don't have much time left. Don't leave us, gang.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Jerry Seinfeld is back.
You know, it's really fun to talk to this generation that has such a different perspective on comedy. We cannot hurt anyone's feelings. Okay, that's fine. That's a nice thought. But you are not going to laugh for the rest of your life. Just understand you're making that deal. I hope that's what you want.
Jerry Seinfeld, Saturday, April 25th. Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa in Atlantic City. Tickets on sale now at theborgata.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Yes, indeed, I am back. Barry Sable sitting in for the one and only Tom Hazelby, talking to Senator would love to be in that seat, Alex Zdan. And I got to call her a wise guy because on Saturday night, she's on Wise Guys on Newsweek. So therefore, that makes you, Jackie Tobacco, a wise guy. Huh? Newsmax. Okay, I made a mistake. That's what happens when you get old. Listen, Alex, I want to start out and lead with you. We don't have much time left. The hour flew by. Why don't you tell me what is unnerving you, basically, about Cory Booker? I know we didn't get into it much, but let's take a minute or so and touch base on that.
Very little unnerves me, but Cory Booker does annoy me.
Yep.
And this is something that we've had conversations with voters across the state about this, Republican, Democrat, Independent. It's been so crystal clear since the beginning of his political career that Cory Booker is all about himself. Yep. He's in this for himself, for the adulation, for the glory, and he papers over that yearning, that need, that craving for fame with these apparent gestures of goodwill. Most people, even Democrats, see through that. You remember him shoveling the snow in Newark and rescuing cats out of trees and allegedly charging into buildings. I mean, come on. Nobody believed it then, and no one should believe it now. And it's interesting to see even the mainstream media, when they interview him about his presidential bid and when they interviewed him about his failed 1% in the polls presidential bid in 2019 and 2020, ask the question, is this guy for real? And the answer, we in New Jersey, Republican, Democrat, and Independent know for a fact, the answer is no.
Yep. Jackie, why does it appear to me that Democrats are so insensitive and they're not compassionate for even angel families? Like you mentioned, women that have lost their lives to illegals. Why is it that the whole group of people, a segment of people, 75 million people roughly voted for Kamala Harris, and none of these people care? It's like American lives don't matter, Jackie. Why is this?
Yeah, it's disturbing. Listen, it goes back down to their messaging, the Democrats' messaging, and the media. The media has been instrumental in convincing people that Trump is a Hitler, basically. Yep. They adopted that. They have the Trump derangement syndrome is very real, and they are so focused on him as an individual, and it's become a, stop Trump at all costs, and they ignore the quality of life that we're all living. They ignore the benefits of the big, beautiful bill, the working families tax cuts. They're ignoring all of the progress, and it's because of that messaging in liberal media. And listen, Trump doesn't help himself sometimes. His Twitter, he just doesn't, he drives them insane, but they focus on words more than his actions. And we need to keep hitting over and over again the realities of the way that we're all living and the world that we want to live in.
Yeah, I want to touch on two topics before we go, and time is fleetingly going fast. Alex, let's talk quickly about the SAVE Act. That's rather important. And 2 seconds I'll give you on birthright citizenship. Go ahead, Alex.
Listen, secure elections are the bedrock of democracy, and the SAVE Act is going to preserve those. We see what the Democrats do, abusing mail-in voting through methods that are sometimes illegal, but even if they're not illegal, are shady. We need to get those measures in line and uniform across the state and across the country. The SAVE Act is key to securing our elections going forward.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, it's an insult to minorities that they don't think that they are, quotes, intelligent enough. Everybody has ID. This is not a big deal. You cannot get on a plane. You can't get on a train. You can't get Section 8 housing. You can't get freebies. You can't get anything without ID. So this kind of nonsense is really stupid. Jackie, quickly.
It is overwhelming public support.
Yes. Jackie, quickly, we have a few minutes left. I do want to talk about the war. In your mind and Alex's mind, and I would like both of you to respond. What are your thoughts on the war? Because everybody's concerned. To me, I believe however long it takes, Donald Trump is in control. I trust what he's doing. I think the Middle East will be a safer place. And I think the people, especially the women of Iran, will be liberated. I mean, why aren't women in America standing behind women all over the world?
I've said this on Wise Guys before. It is maddening to me. The women there were completely oppressed, uneducated, wearing burqas, not allowed to have any rights, and murdered, basically murdered for anything. For having a piece of hair showing, they've been murdered. That Islamic regime is a dangerous one, and it has been a bipartisan issue to stop Iran from developing nuclear weapons forever. The second that Trump takes action, all of a sudden they are against it. This goes back to TDS and messaging and narrative. I agree. Listen, it's been what, maybe 30 something days that we've been in this, and they are all talking about and calling it a forever war. I mean, it's nonsense. He has decimated their Navy. We need to make sure that Israel is protected. Those people need to be able to live their lives. And that's my feelings on it. And I don't represent anyone else's feelings, just my own.
Go ahead, Alex. Chime in, my friend.
We don't need and don't want any more forever wars in the Middle East. So we need to guard against that. This is not a forever war. We're not at that point yet.
Of course not.
However, I think that from what we've heard from the president and from the Secretary of War, we've accomplished a large number of our war aims. The Iranian Navy, as Jackie said, has been sunk. Their ballistic missile capability has been degraded. Their plants where they tried to produce enriched uranium for nuclear weapons are smoldering ruins. So I think in a large part we've completed the mission, and it's time for us to focus on the Pacific and the threat posed by the Chinese Communist Party. Presidents have been trying to pivot to Asia for 10, 15 years. President Trump began to do that in his first term, and I would very much like to see the president continue to do that in his second. The Chinese Communist Party is the greatest threat to peace, security, and freedom the world over, and a conflict against them would take every ounce of firepower we have. We need to be prepared. We don't seek conflict with the Chinese. We seek peace, but we need to be prepared as best we can for that eventuality.
Yep. Jackie, are we ever going to see Democrats and Republicans on the same page on certain issues, or is this just going to be a push and shove and the American people are going to suffer because of it?
Listen, I'm really hoping that this MAHA initiative makes a change. I mean, we have polling from Fabrizio, who is Trump's pollster. We have polling that shows that when MAHA issues are emphasized, the demographic that Republicans struggle with, college-educated suburban women with children, will shift from a D plus 51 to an R plus 20. This is where we can find a moderate platform that everyone can agree on. So I'm hoping that we, use Alex's campaign as an example of that and bring some real results.
Yep.
Look at those numbers, Barry. Nobody's seen numbers like that. Nobody's seen shifts like that in polling before.
I know. Listen, I agree with you. Unfortunately, the hour's almost up. Alex, Zdan, give me your 20-second wrap-up for this hour, please.
Right here, right now, as you sip your coffee or drive in your car, Cory Booker is preparing to knock doors today to get a socialist, Ana Lilia Mejia, into office.
Yep.
That's who the man is, but we can stop him. We can stop him by voting, and that route begins by voting for me on June 2nd for the Republican primary and voting for me in November, on November 3rd for the United States Senate. Stop socialism and cancel Cory.
Jackie Tobacco, I only have 10 seconds left for you. Please give it to me.
Watch Wise Guys tonight, 9 o'clock.
Yes, I'll be watching, and so will Alex. I know. Listen, I want to thank you two guys, Alex Zdan, Jackie Tobacco, for joining Uncle Barry this morning, sitting in for Tom Hazelby. I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, The Barry Sable Show with friends. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Guys, thank you for being my guest. Stay well and be safe.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Penalties and interest are piling up every single day. Wage garnishments and bank levies could hit any moment. If you've been avoiding it out of fear, you're not alone. But waiting only shrinks your options and ramps up the stress. The truth is, the IRS settles with taxpayers every day through legitimate programs, and many qualify to reduce what they owe, in some cases by up to 99%. That's why thousands turn to helpwithirsdebt.com. They've guided over 120,000 Americans, resolved more than $2.3 billion in tax debt, and back every case with their ironclad resolution guarantee. If there's no real path forward, you get a full refund, no fine print. They even randomly select one qualifying client each year and pay off their entire IRS balance. Terms apply. Don't let another day pass. Go to helpwithirsdebt.com right now. It's fast, easy, and confidential. Find out what's possible today. Helpwithirsdebt.com. Once again, that's helpwithirsdebt.com.
Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, "I found Nirvana! I win!" They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $200 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Some companies add kitchens and baths when business slows down. At Kitchen Magic, it's all we've done for 46 years. That focus matters. It's why over 60,000 homeowners have trusted us. It's why we're family-owned and operated. It's why we manufacture locally. And it's why April is our biggest month of the year. Right now, get 40% off installation on your kitchen or bath remodel. Kitchen Magic. Specialists then, specialists now, specialists always. Call or visit our website now to schedule your free consultation.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios, powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't